Yeah, you heard it right there. Acknowledge me. My name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Ralph's Opinion Show every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. I am the revolutionary. I am the visionary. I am Ralph Williams. And yes, acknowledge me. All right. It's great to be here tonight, here in Studios 10 in Berlin, Maryland. I want to introduce you to our new studio sponsor, and that is our new Shore Appliance Connection in Salisbury. Call them today in Salisbury, Maryland at 410-749-6121. That number again is 410-749-6121. The Shore Appliance Connection. Ask for Bill. Tell Bill Ralph Williams sent you. They have the best in major appliances all across the board, some great prices, and they will free delivery and hookup as well. And don't forget to call them today. That number again, 410-749-6121. Also locations in Delaware. So call the Salisbury location. They'll give you all the facts and all the information as to where the locations are in Delaware. Shore Appliance Connection is our new studio sponsor here on all RW Media Production shows. Tonight we got a lot to talk about. The Iran war started again. Iran don't seem to get the message, I guess. All right. Iran's a bunch of liars. We knew about that. We'll talk about that as we go. Tonight, we have a new segment, and I'm doing it on all my shows, including I have a Ralph Report exposed. Tonight, I'm exposing Instacart, okay? And I'm going to tell you something about Instacart here that you're going to want to know. I'm exposing Instacart tonight, all right? So that's part of that. Stupid never takes a vacation. Where do you hear this? This is why teachers look bad. Where do you hear this one? All right. And also, not only stupid never takes a vacation, but shame on you as well. We have that coming up tonight. The good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump, we have that coming up as well. And this Iran war is starting to look ugly. So, we'll see what happens here. I hope it doesn't turn into another Vietnam or another Iraq or another Afghanistan, when we pulled out, probably when we shouldn't have. And left unfinished business. And, so it's just crazy. It's ridiculous. Our country it's about to, it's embarrassing. And, my next question to you tonight, how was your 4th of July weekend? 250th anniversary. I'll tell you what I did. I'll tell you who did what, where, when, and why. Okay. Well, we can start off with that. Let's start off with that tonight. What did you do this weekend for the Independence Day weekend? Independence Day was on Saturday this year, which also is a very good. It was a good thing. Pensman Sports says hello, Ralph. Hello, Pensman. Great to have you on. I know you had a hard day at work today, so but it's good to have you on today, commenting. And there's Pensman Sports right there. Tune into everything he has going on. He does live streams of the New York Yankees. He also does, the Pittsburgh Steelers talk. He's also on the Saturday Sports Blast show with me and Brian Pettit and Leo Haggerty. Pensman Sports, don't forget to like and subscribe to his channel as well as Sports Break Media, Brian Pettit as well. Let me see if Brian's up yet. Usually he chimes in here. Let's see what we got with him. All right. Okay, still working. You kind of told me it was going to be a long day for you. So, but be safe out there, my friend. All right, there we are. Still working. Like I said, be safe out there. So, but anyway. All right. Yep, like and subscribe. Thank you very much as well to my YouTube channel and all my social media platforms as well. And also don't forget about Sports Break Media with Brian Pettit. Here's his banner. Brian, he does some live stream stuff. He does some shorts. He does a bunch of stuff. Sports Break Media, Brian Pettit, and he's also on the Saturday Sports Blast show with me, Pensman Sports, and Leo Haggerty as well. And this week we have a lot to talk about. World Cup soccer, the USA blew it, NHL free agency, the NFL training camps getting started. Baseball, Major League Baseball All-Star game coming up. It's just it's a lot to talk about. So tune in Saturday, 10 a.m. live on our YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick networks. All right. Okay, my 4th of July weekend, I did what was called a cook-in. I didn't cook out. We had extreme heat here. Temperatures were bad. Last Friday, July 3rd, I had tickets to see the Little River Band. My wife and I did not go. It was 90 degrees, and the heat index was over 100, and I was not sitting out in that heat. My tickets were only for $70 total, so I wasn't going to worry about that. That was for 2 tickets. Okay? All right? So I've eaten more than $70 in my lifetime, so I just want to let you know that. All right? So we didn't go. All right? Saturday, I cooked in. I didn't cook out. And again, because of the heat. And, it's affecting the heat all across the country is affecting everybody. All right? So, it's just a crazy, a lot of people without power up in PA, yes. Critical storms. We had some, we had some down here a little bit, but they came and gone as well. So, yeah, it was kind of hot today. I had to go out today. I'm not going into why, but I had to go out today. I didn't really want to because I do other things on Wednesday, and I just don't feel like going out on Wednesdays or Thursdays because I got personal stuff I got to do in the morning, and I really don't feel like going out. So, But anyway, getting back to this, what did you do for the 4th of July weekend? All right. And like I said, I basically sat at home, but I watched CNN. And CNN every year has a 4th of July celebration, and they go all across the country where different cities have different bands. And of course, Pittsburgh really didn't have anybody good I think the Clarks might have played there, but the Clarks they're good Pittsburgh wise, but their United States notoriety kind of slacked off after they were on Saturday Night Live years ago. Yeah. Okay. All right. You're on Saturday Night Live a few times. And I'm not making fun of the Clarks. The Clarks have been very successful. So is Rusted Root. Okay? So, I mean, so is George Benson. I mean, there was a lot of bands that came out of Pittsburgh that were good over the years. Joe Krashecki and the House Rockers. But now they're just there. And that's it. Okay? And they stay local and they do their thing. And that's what they do. I mean, the Clarks now, they're in their 50s and 60s. They're just not what they used to be. All right? No one is. Okay? It was nice to switch channels this year because ABC, CBS, and NBC all did something this year similar to what CNN did. And I liked it because CNN was playing had the same old artists on, where at least ABC, NBC, and CBS mixed up everything. They had a different genre of rock. They had R&B. They had even 90s artists like Salt and Pepper. They had, just a Kool and the Gang. I mean, I was switching between all the channels and coming up with it. And then how about the 4th of July celebration? Kenny Loggins in D.C. Kenny Loggins is 78 years old. I haven't seen Kenny Loggins in probably 20 years, maybe more than that. And I mean, but 78 years old, and he was still at it, still good at what he does. Also, it was nice to see Chicago. They have a new lead singer, and it was nice to see them perform. I wanted to see them perform with their new lead singer, which I had the privilege of doing. All right. And several other just great bands. But CNN, to me, laid an egg because they really didn't. It was a lot of this more this year than it was before because I watched this, about 3-4 years ago. Every 4th of July, my wife and my mom and I, we would all go to Erie and then Grove City. Grove City, PA used to have had a great fireworks display. And, they used to always All right. Oh, whatever that means, Alden. But thank you anyway. So anyway, uh, what had happened was we used to go there every every Independence Day weekend or whatever it was. All right. Wow. So anyway, uh, and we used to go and we would go to Grove City at the hotel we were staying at. We would go into the parking lot, and we could see the Grove City Airport and Grove City downtown's fireworks display. And you could catch some of the other little towns around. It was just a beautiful sight to see. And then we would sit in our hotel and chill out and order some food. And, or, one year I took a grill and cooked out outside the hotel parking lot. I had one of them little hibachi grills, and I just went outside and cooked out. Okay. Cooked in. I've done that already too. So I got one of them little indoor, little tiny George Foreman grills, cooked in the room. All right. And enjoyed ourselves watching CNN and their fireworks displays and everything else. But, and they had some great bands on, Oreo Speedwagon, and they mixed it up. I mean, they had a bunch of them, but this year, CNN just had the same people. It was Chris Stapleton. It was, and I don't have nothing against Chris Stapleton, but Chris Stapleton, the only song that I really know from him is Tennessee Whiskey. So, I mean, but yeah. All right. But that was what I did this weekend. I did a lot of rest and relaxation. We didn't do a Saturday Sports Blast show. I'm not really refreshed because, my Monday started off on a bad foot. Yesterday was and Wednesday, today, yeah, same thing. My days lately, in the last month or so, have been kind of 50-50. They haven't been, I haven't had a complete good day. And that's just what's happened. And I got to kind of live with it, I guess. All right. It's been like that now for about a month and a half, and I don't know why. I just don't. I don't know what I did to deserve it. I don't know what, what I mean? Anything like that. I've gone into a deep depression over some of this stuff. And my wife is not well right now. She has to get hernia surgery in August. My summer's been kind of, I wouldn't say ruined, but what am I going to do? So that's where I am. And when I moved down here, I came down here to have fun. I did. I come down here to have fun because at the time Pittsburgh was boring. It was getting boring. And, we all know what Pittsburgh's like. It's crime ridden, and they don't know how to handle juvenile takeovers, which we'll get into that a little bit as well. All right. All right, there we are. Yeah, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, I'm just like I said, Paul. I'm having those days myself, man. I am. And in fact, at some point, you can ask friends of mine. I got so depressed, I wanted to shut everything down in media. Because here's the thing right now. I am seriously considering shutting everything down at the end of the year if I don't start getting some qualified advertisers or sponsors for my radio shows. Because what's happening is I'm paying for airtime out of my own pocket, and it's affected my bottom line. And I try to be the new voice of Pittsburgh, but they don't want the new voice. They want to stick with the old voice. Philadelphia, I don't know what the gauge from them. That's who knows. Down here, yeah. Today, once again, I went to someplace. I have to go to a laundromat because my laundry room floor almost caved in. and it's getting repaired. And my washer and dryer went on the fits as well. So, it's it's old stuff. It's been sitting here for a while. The owner of this house that had it before me had this house for a summer house, and it's not used to everyday wear and tear. So, but anyway, and I had to get a new washer and dryer. That I can't put that in till the floor is done. The floor's not done yet because I have a leak in my roof now, and it's coming down through the vent and into the laundry room floor. So, it rains, it pours. All right. And, I've had to spend a lot of money on a lot of, repairs on this house and some other stuff. And, today I had to go to laundromat to do our laundry until we get our washer and dryer in, and we can't get it in until the laundry room floor is fixed. And that's going to be fixed on Friday. So, today, once again, someone's saw me there, and I want to thank him. He says he tunes into the show. Him and his wife come down here in the summertime. They stay at some campground or somewhere. They have an RV, and they always go to Sunrise Laundry to go do their laundry. And he says, peace and love, man. I said, peace and love to you too, man. Okay. And just about everywhere I go now, when I go out, people come up to me and say, Ralph, I like the show. Ralph, I don't like you. Ralph, you're full of BS. Or Ralph, I don't like the way you, do this, that, or whatever. Okay. So here we are. All right. We're going to talk about the juvenile takeover. That's Ralph's opinion today. I'm not going to go in any further, but I will say that at the end of the year, there's a few contracts I'm trying to get worked out with some sponsors here. If I don't get them, I'm shutting it all down because it's starting to cost me money now, and I'm still not getting the respect I deserve up in Pittsburgh, which is fine with me. I knew that was coming, and I tried. I will say, but I at the end of the year, I'm going to have to wave the white flag because it's eating me up in the wallet. And I'm just getting tired of it. And, Philly, I'm probably going to keep that show there. My agent got me that show. And I'll probably keep the show in here. I'll definitely keep the show down here in the Delmarva region because that show's on a roll now. All right. So, just about everywhere I go, when they hear my voice, they know it's me. And, but I'm not getting the respect from sponsors, advertisers, the people, still not getting it. I mean, I thought I would set the bar high or say, hey, look, I told you Pittsburgh was bad. I moved out. I thought maybe people would move with me, and I'm still broadcasting things in Pittsburgh, but it's just, it's kind of getting to me a little bit. And I went into a deep depression the last couple of weeks, and I thought about shutting it all down at the end of the year. So I don't know. Still up in the air right now. Some things have to happen. Some sponsors got to come forward. Some advertisers got to start kicking up, coming forward and doing it. I don't want to hear no songs in the dance and oh yeah, we'll sign a contract when I get back from vacation or whatever. I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. I don't have the time for excuses. You don't give those excuses to the big boys. So why are you going to give me an excuse? Okay. That's just, so, all right. It's Ralph's opinion today. Let's talk about these juvenile takeovers. They're all over the place now. They're even down in Ocean City. But the difference between Ocean City and the progressive cities is that Ocean City has now decided that they're going to get together because they've had two attempted teen takeovers that were nipped in the butt, taken care of. Okay. Now they're sitting down and they're getting a legislation put together. The state house, or they're meeting, county officials, state officials, all meeting. They're all having a summit. And they're going to do something about this. And I sent a suggestion to Mayor Meehan, the mayor of Ocean City, although me and Mayor Meehan kind of don't get along because of some of the things he's doing. All right. Okay. Picking on the Lord's house. But I found some interesting details about the Lord's house that, might, but, Ocean City could have eased up a little bit on this church, and I get it. You got a bunch of homeless people living in there, and a lot of them are drug addicts walking around town, zombie-like they do up in Pittsburgh, and nobody does anything about it. At least down here, they have several shelters, and they do something about it. They'll put you in jail. And then they'll put you in a shelter. And if you commit another crime, they'll put you back in jail, and you'll stay there. They have different laws. They have different the politicians down here and the people down in this Delmarva region, they have a backbone except for Rehoboth Beach. Because Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, wants to sit down like Pittsburgh and the rest of these cities and talk with these juveniles. Let's sit down and have a meeting with these juveniles. Really? Really? You know what my suggestion is? Call in the National Guard, scoop them up, detain them, make the parents come and pick them up, and give them a 3-strike program. First of all, when you first detain them, say to the parent, listen, today I'm going to give you a warning. If your child is back here 2 more times, you go to jail. The second time, you get a fine. Third time, you go to jail. We're going to do a 3-strike program here. And if you don't like it, that's too bad. I don't want to hear from Hakeem Jeffries. I don't want to hear from these black empowerment groups that it's racism. No, it's not racism. It just so happens that this is where we are today in America. And I know that there are people that are underprivileged, that there are neighborhoods that are not getting what they want. I get that. I heard it up in Pittsburgh this entire week so far, the last 3 days, about how, well, we don't have any parks for the kids to play in, or we don't have any, there's no money, which is true. Instead of taking $600 million and putting up some dinky little park in downtown Pittsburgh, they went ahead and they could have spent it on parks. They could have built community centers. They could have had programs for these kids. And we wouldn't be having these juvenile takeovers. All right. Right. But then you have your progressives who also are like, we need to sit and we need to talk doing this. And we need to sit and talk with them and shake their hand and kiss their butt and go, no, jail. Put them in jail. Put the parents in jail. Okay? All right? Then get them into a program. Because they got to learn the lesson first before they can get the program. You understand what I'm getting at? Okay? Well, my kid don't have no place to go. Yeah, they do. There's an amusement park in Pittsburgh. There's arcades. Go to Dave & Buster's or something. But don't go running all over the cities all across the United States and causing problems and then blaming society, blaming the government. Well, yeah, some of it is the government's fault, as I said. A lot of these governments get all this money and don't put anything into the parks or any communities, basketball or anything like that, to play or game. It's something for kids to do. There's no after-school activities anymore in some of these places, okay, or some of these cities, all right? You got homeless people running all over the place, drug addicts. Not all homeless people are drug addicts. There are some of them that are down on their luck, and I respect those people because they have nowhere else to go. I can't help it that real estate now is sky high. I can't help it that landlords charge, $4,000 a month for an apartment, $6,000 a month for another one. And every time they put housing up or they want to do something, okay, like if they want to put affordable housing in Delaware, I don't want that in my neighborhood. Oh, no, too much traffic. You want to put retail development in your neighborhood. I don't want that, too much traffic. All right. Or that's the progressives. Okay. We need to expand our police department so we can arrest some of these juveniles. Oh, no, we can't do that. No. And Chuck Schumer here, we can't. And then you got Bernie Sanders, the independent progressive, who runs around with his hair popped up in the air like he put his finger in a light socket, looking like a circus clown, going. Okay, that's your progressives that you voted in here. Every week I talk about this, and every week I come up with more and more problems that progressives have caused. And this juvenile takeover is part of the progressive problem. And there's a colleague of mine who does media. He's really not a colleague of mine because I don't know him from a can of paint in all true reality, although he knows me because I've criticized him for some of the stuff. I'm going to criticize him now. Okay? He's going on and on about how, okay, well, we need to do this, this, and this for our juveniles. No, we don't need to do anything for juveniles. Put them in jail. If they're going to cause problems, put them in jail. And then maybe down the road, put them in programs. But at least let them learn the lesson of jail. The parents, the lesson of jail. Then maybe the parents will start being parents. Okay? All right? I'm not going to tell you the secret as to what I told Rick Meehan and Corey O'Connor up in Pittsburgh. All right? And the mayor of Philadelphia, Mayor Parker, which, of course, I don't know what they're going to do. Okay? But I know about the power of suggestion, but I will tell you that I think my email made something because Rick Meehan and the rest of the governments have all got together and decide they're going to do something. And I'm wondering if they're going to use my plan. Because my plan works. I'm not going to tell you the rest of it. All I'm going to tell you is the juveniles will go to jail and the parents will be warned if they use my plan. But I'm not going to tell you what else is going on because it's a secret. I'm not putting it on social media. Nothing. I'm keeping it a secret. Now, if you pay me a good buck, some media outlet comes to me and goes, "Hey, Ralph, what's that secret?" Yeah, you pay me a couple bucks. Yeah, I might just tell you. But other than that, I'm not saying anything. Because you know why? This is a war. And when you have a war, you don't tell anybody your battle plan. The United States has done that for years, but you don't tell anybody your battle plan. Okay? All right? No, I'm not watching no World Cup. I haven't watched World Cup. And to be frankly honest with you, I haven't had time to watch World Cup. Sorry. Now that the U.S. is out of it, I don't care about World Cup. All right? There you are. So anyway, let's get back to this conversation. Okay? All right. That's Ralph's opinion on juvenile takeovers. All right. All right. Let's get into, we're going to do the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump last. Let's get into our shame on you and stupid never takes a vacation. And I'm going to tell you why tonight, as part of my new exposed segment, we're going to expose Instacart. And I'll tell you why. Okay. In fact, we'll get into that right now. You, Instacart, you are exposed. You ever watch WWE wrestling? Some of you do. A lot of you do. A lot of you don't tune into my wrestling shows, but that's beside the point. All right. Okay. All right. And Danhausen goes, "You have been cursed. You have been exposed." And tonight, I hope you're watching this tonight, and I hope somebody from Instacart is listening because you were warned. Instacart. My wife will place an Instacart order. We put on the instructions to please bring it to the door, knock on the door, and bring it into our home because I am in a wheelchair and I cannot go outside and haul bags or whatever it is to bring into the house. Okay. Could have got a nice tip, but you didn't do it. So what they did, the top of my ramp on my property, they left it out there in 100-degree heat. Now, I didn't know it was out there because Instacart didn't knock on our door, ring the bell, or even tell us they were there. So my wife tried to get her money back or a replacement order or whatever. And of course, Instacart wants to play games. So my wife said, listen, my husband is a social media guy who gets on social media like I am tonight, and we'll expose you on all his programs and his radio shows all across the country that he's on in the different radio markets. Okay? All right? And they didn't care. They didn't care. The manager didn't even care. But here's the thing, though, and this is what I want to tell you. All right? Instacart must be hurting because Instacart has started on an aggressive advertising campaign. I wish they'd pay me to advertise. Okay? All right? So they're exposed tonight on this program and all my radio shows across the other markets that I'm on. And I still have my Ralph Report exposed. You are exposed. I've exposed squatters. I've exposed some businesses, and I will continue to do so. And tonight, I'm exposing Instacart because Instacart needs to be exposed. So if you ever get an Instacart order, okay, make sure that they follow the instructions. And if they don't, God help you. Because you know why? You won't get your money back. Then you get a man short. Oh, then, of course, guess what? He knows speaking the English. What else, right? It's 250 years of our country. It's disgraceful. I have nothing against foreign people working in this country. Nothing against them at all. I have nothing against legal people who are immigrants to live in this country. Okay? We did it to ourselves. And it's sad. You complain because they come to your house and do your landscaping. You complain because they drive trucks all over the country. You complain because they're driving a cab. You complain. You don't want to do those jobs. You don't want to do those jobs. You don't want to work in a grocery store. You don't want to do anything. There's a whole bunch of people in this society, and please don't say I said all Americans are lazy like some guy that cornered me at the DMV a few weeks back and read me the riot act saying that I said I did not say all Americans are lazy. I said the majority of this country is lazy. Nobody in customer service wants to go the extra mile for anybody anymore. Nobody wants to have bad attitude about their job. Okay. Went to the hospital down here to go get blood work done at the lab. Now, I get it. The woman was by herself. I get that. She had to check me in. Normally, the ones that check me in do not take my blood. Someone else does it. Well, there was nobody there. She was by herself. And I said, wow, where is everybody? How's the merger going? Or how do you like the merger? Because there was a hospital merger down there. Two hospitals merged into one. Okay? And she went, that's it. It's a job. Okay. She said, it was a job when I started, and it's still a job now. So a couple days later, I had to go to my appointment at my wound care, which is next door to the blood place or the blood lab. It's behind it. So I get there and I look into the blood because you have to go through the blood lab and go through another door to get to the wound care. All right. If you don't want to go to the main entrance and go 6 miles down 2 hallways, it's a simple shortcut. So anyway, I go through there and there's about 6 people sitting in the waiting room and that same woman sitting there. So I put two and two together and got four. When the merger happened, everybody either quit, retired, got fired, or resigned. Because those were the four things that I was told by wound care and some other people in the hospital system that was the reason why they were shorthanded. And they're shorthanded down here, 300 people. So if you're a nurse or you want to come down, you want to, like kind of like behind the eight ball or behind the seniority at the hospital you work at, and you want to come down here and work, we got some jobs at these hospitals down here. All right. And that's sad because that affects everybody, including my health and my family's health. And there are a lot of people out there that don't care about these kind of things, but I do. Because it affects our health. And if you don't care about your health, you don't care whether or not they're shorthanded at the doctor's office or your paperwork gets screwed up or your medication don't show up or whatever. Okay? They're short 300 people and they need people. So, again, if you want to come down to the Eastern Coast, I'm inviting you to come on down because you're needed here if you're in the healthcare business. If you're a nurse or if you're a tech or if you're even a doctor and you're not getting any satisfaction where you are or a hospital's going out of business or whatever, come on down. Come on down. They need people. They're short over 300 people. It's a job. Okay? This is where we are at the 250 years. And again, I'm going to say this, 250 years of this country. And I got to say this, I'll be 58 this year. In all my years, this is the worst I've ever seen it. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to work. Everybody's disrespecting everybody. The F-bomb, the F-bomb, the F-bomb. It's galore. I've never seen the Americans salute so much in my life. Okay? Road rage galore. Shootings galore. Juvenile takeovers galore. Violence in our cities galore. Incompetent governments. 250 years, our forefathers are rolling over in their graves, man. They have to be. Because as much as I had a good time and I enjoyed my 250th anniversary, 4th of July, no one else, I know a lot of people didn't because there's not a lot of patriotic people out here anymore. You don't support our military. You don't care. You treat our military people just like you treat police and public safety people and first responders like a piece of garbage. You attack them. You throw stuff at them. Okay? All right? You disrespect people's families, talk about people's mothers and all that other stuff. That's disrespectful. And you know what people tell me? They go, well, that's just a generational thing, Ralph. No, it's not. It's been going on now for a while. But this year, the last 5 years, it's been worse since COVID because everybody didn't know what to do with COVID. Everybody was like a blind man in a silent movie theater. Not that I have anything against blind people. All right? Like turtles marching up a hill for peanut butter. All right? That's exactly where we are. A lot of people in this country, they're so stupid, it takes them an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes. Okay? That's where we are today in this country. I'm serious. You think I'm kidding you? Hey, if you don't see what I see out there, Stevie Wonder could see this. It's really awful. Okay? And no, it's not that I'm negative. I just tell the truth here. I tell the truth here. Okay? And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm telling it like I see it. And right now, the way I'm looking at this, okay, it's not good for our country right now. You know, I was listening to another media guy tonight, and he made an interesting point. China now is starting to hold hands with Russia, North Korea. They're all getting together. North Korea is sending troops to Ukraine to fight Ukraine for Russia because Russia's troops are getting their butts handed to them. Okay? Vladimir Zelensky, on the other hand, doesn't want to sit down with Putin and Donald and President Trump and discuss any peace plan. All right? Okay? He's about as stubborn as a mule. Okay? All right, here we go. Stupid never takes a vacation. So, I got to pull my gong out because I always pull it out for stupid never takes a vacation or shame on you. And tonight, stupid never takes a vacation. Okay. A principal banned from teaching after altering school calendar to accommodate personal cruise vacation. This is why teachers are where they are today. Not the good teachers. There's a bunch of them, but there's some bad teachers like this that are making it bad for all teachers. There are bad police officers out there that are making it bad for all police officers. There are people out there that are nasty servers that make it bad for all servers. You understand? Exactly. All right, that stupid never takes a vacation. I can be so stupid. A teacher's supposed to be smart because you're teaching, you're supposed to have brains. But I was once told by a millionaire who never went to college, all right, and did a system that I was there to learn how to make money with and made nothing. Okay. But he did. Not that I have a problem with it. I don't care what he makes. All right. And this guy said that, okay, he said, I never met a college student that ever had, or anybody that ever went to college that ever had any common sense. He might be right. Because when I used to be in the customer service business, I met a lot of college students, and they didn't have any common sense. Maybe he's right. I possibly believe that. Okay. Not that I have anything against teachers, but here we go again. All right. A Vegas woman was here. Listen to this. You're going to love this one here. This is a shame on you from the dailymail.com. Now watch this one now. This is a kind of a shame on you and a stupid never takes a vacation. We're going to kind of put both of them in this one. Vegas woman was married to 14 men. 14 men at once for cash, says prosecutors. Now, hold on. There we go. Oh, my. Oh, my. Because she had an out-of-control gambling habit. What got women started in gambling was, remember that woman? It was a true story. It was at the Foxwoods in Connecticut. This woman went in there, and it was a true story. I watched it on Lifetime Movies because my first wife, who, by the way, today is her 16th anniversary of her death day. I want to say, God bless you, Janice. I'll see you when I get up there. Okay. So we'll get back to this now. And we watched it, and it was a true story. It really was. This woman was so addicted to slot machines that she actually went and robbed the casino and then went and sat and played. After she robbed the casino, went to another casino and played. Okay, she robbed one and then went to another addiction. That got women started addicted to gambling. And I got to tell you, you want to talk about an addiction to gambling? Watch a movie called Even Money. It was made in 2006. It has the late Ray Liotta, Danny DeVito. Great cast in it. Here, I'll name you who's all. Kelsey Grammer, okay? Kim Basinger, and the late Ray Liotta. All right? And a few other people. Oh, and Forrest Whitaker, okay? And Michael B. Jordan is in that. The one that played in Creed? Yeah, he's in that. Plays a basketball player that's shaving points. It's like Traffic was to drugs, how you watched how drugs went in different directions. This is about how gambling goes in different directions. And Kim Basinger takes her daughter's college money and fund and all the savings. Ray Liotta's a professor, or he's an instructor at a college or whatever he does. Kim Basinger is an author. She writes books. But she got so addicted to gambling because her and her husband, I guess, didn't get along. Her and her daughter didn't get along. She was never home. Okay, that kind of thing. She was always at the casino. And she gambled so much money away, and he found out about it. And she wiped out their savings account and wiped out the kids' college fund. Women are the biggest gamblers. And when that one started in Foxwood, that started there. But this woman married to 14 different men because she had a gambling problem in Las Vegas. Shame on you, and stupid never takes a vacation. All right? Okay? You need to go get help. That's what you need to do. Okay? That's a simple fact right there. All right? But that stupid never takes a vacation. All right, here's another good one. Church treasurer, shame on this person, stealing from the Lord. How many times have I said that? Stealing from the Lord. A church treasurer, okay? All right. Charged with stealing more than $400,000 from a congregation. A longtime church treasurer in South Carolina. This is from the Christian Post. All right. It says a longtime church treasurer in South Carolina is accused of stealing more than $400,000 from her congregation over nearly 7 years, according to the state investigators. All right. Shame on you for stealing from the Lord's house. Shame on you. Okay. All right. That's shame on you tonight as well. All right. And maybe we could even put exposed in there because they got exposed. All right. We can kind of put all three of them in there for that. But tonight I'm exposing Instacart. And I explained the story to you earlier. You can watch the archive version if you're just tuning in late. You can watch the archive version of Ralph's Opinion Show. We're here every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network as well. All right. So let's get into tonight the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. All right. And we have a bunch of good things and some bad things and some real ugly things going on right now with President Trump. Okay. All right. So, all right, here we go. All right, it's now time for the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. All right, the ugly. The peace agreement has gone up in smoke. Iran has decided in their infinite wisdom to try and go after two mercantile ships and bomb them literally in the Strait of Hormuz. So now we have to go back and bomb them again. And here's what I'm upset with President Trump about, which is making him look bad, is the fact that why didn't he take Iran out when he had the chance? Send troops in, invade Iran. Get them out. You invaded Iraq. You invaded, well, you didn't really invade Afghanistan, but you invaded Iraq. All right, get the government out. All right, liberate it. Okay, get everybody on board. But we have countries, and shame on these countries, Britain and France, our two biggest allies in NATO, haven't done squat to help us. Nothing. Nothing at all. Shame on you for that. You fall in that category tonight. Britain and France and NATO. I forgot to bring that up earlier. Shame on you for not helping us out, leaving us out to dry, hanging us out to dry in this Iran war. Involved in that. Why not? 50 years or more, this country has done a lot to everybody, and nobody wants to do anything about it. And now President Trump looks bad because he should have took him out when he had the opportunity. Him and Israel and the United States should have took them out and just wiped them off the face of the earth, take the country over. Israel could have sent troops in with the United States, and I'm sure Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the Emerald Emirates and whoever else is there would have helped us as well, because it seems like Britain and France don't seem to want to help us, and some of our NATO allies who don't want to pitch money in for anything. All they want to do is come. We need the Americans' help. Okay, shame on you, Britain. Shame on you, France. And I know Canada's mad at us too because of the tariffs. But you shouldn't have been ripping our country off over these years. And that's one good thing I say about President Trump. And these tariffs, I know, I took a lot of heat for this, are killing a lot of businesses. But guess what? In the long run, if they stay where they are, you're going to be making some money in this country. We're going to be manufacturing things here. If you want to go work. Okay? President Trump is going to has put a blueprint together for you to go out and get a decent job and manufacture stuff in this country. But you don't want to work. You, the lazy bum out there that don't want to work. I went out for weekends and holidays. I didn't like the way the boss talked to me. I had that problem. 35 years. I had some bosses that were complete jackasses. But I sucked it up. Did what I had to do. You know what it is? It's our progressive kids out there. And you know, my media colleague says, why don't we have younger people involved in politics? We have them, but they're a bunch of progressive radicals that have no idea what they're doing. So we got to go back to the old heads. All right? Sad, really sad, that we have 80-year-old men as our president. And because Hakeem Jeffries acts completely like an idiot, Summer Lee acts like an idiot. That woman in Minnesota or Michigan or whatever that wears the turban that's from Somalia that fights with President Trump all the time. And I agree with President Trump. She should be an American citizen. I know she is, but even though she's from Somalia. But does everybody forget about what Somalia did to us in the early 90s? That whole town of Mogadishu went against us when we tried to take out the warlord that was causing genocide. Okay? So I know a lot of you weren't born yet, but I remember that. I saw it on TV. And I watched Black Hawk Down, and I saw the real documentary on it. Yeah. It happened. Shame on you too, Somalia. And this woman wants to be a politician after her country is terrorism and all that stuff? I don't know. Okay? I get what President Trump's trying to do. I get it. Okay? But everybody forgets about that. That's like having a Vietnamese person as the vice president after what Vietnam did to us. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? My dad fought over there. And so did a whole bunch of other Americans. There's 58,000 dead Americans because of that war. And I get it. America was wrong. There were some things they did stupid that they shouldn't have done if you watch these movies. Okay? Not enough men. Gave up too soon. Agreed. Trusted the North Vietnamese with the peace accord. Okay? Yeah. Watch some of the movies, watch some of the documentaries. I knew people who were in Vietnam. One guy said he had a blast, got high, drunk, was a quartermaster, gave out equipment, loved it, had women in his tent. Another guy, ironed sheets on a Navy ship, washed dishes on a Navy ship. Okay? But the majority of the people that I spoke to that were ever in Vietnam, other than those two, all told me it was a nightmare. Okay? It was a nightmare. All right? All right. The ugly, as I said, the ugly is with President Trump is this: we have to go back and go after Iran. Let's get the troops assembled. Let's go into Iran. Let's invade it. Let's get them. Let's blast them out of here, and send a message to Russia, to North Korea, to China, and to all these other countries that want to take us out, which could happen because of the stupid never takes a vacation with some of these other politicians, not President Trump, not his cabinet, but these senators and Congress people who are progressives. Well, we can't do that. Okay? And that's what's going to happen when you keep voting those people, and that's why there's no young people as politicians. Think about that for a second. Oh, all you people who play Xbox is about to go bye-byes. Yeah. You know why? No one's playing it. No one's buying it. Everybody's doing something else. Good. That'll take people away from Xbox and get them out there working, getting a job, helping the country, helping the economy. So you have at least a decent life. Okay? I ain't working there weekends and holidays. Yeah. I'm not cutting my hair. This is freedom here. I enjoy, not that I have a problem with it. I enjoy living in my car. This is freedom. I don't have to pay rent. I don't have to pay taxes. I don't have to work. Okay? That's why you live in your car. Do you know there's more people now in the 40s and 50s living with their parents than ever before? They're still living with their parents from COVID. A lot of the parents are kicking them out now. They can't support them anymore. And they're not working. They're homeless because that's the way they want to be. They got lazy. The great resignation, that backfired on all you young kids. You want to know why we don't have young kids as politicians? Think about that for a minute. Young people, teen takeovers, think about it for a minute. Parenting, think about it for a minute. That's why the old heads are still where they are. All right. And that's, again, 250 years. Thank you, America. There we go. All right. The good of President Trump was I liked the 4th of July celebration in Washington, D.C. I liked the UFC fighting. I thought that was a great spectacle that he did. He was doing something. He's thinking outside the box, doing things for our country so that our country understands how good our government, and things like that. He's getting the ballroom fixed in the White House. Everybody's giving him a hard time about that. I know the Kennedy thing, that backfired. He tried to get his name on the Kennedy Center. I get that. Robert Kennedy is part of his cabinet, and none of his family likes Robert Kennedy, so we're going to stick it to the Kennedys other than Robert Kennedy. Okay? He's our health secretary. Let's make America healthy again. Let's get rid of cereal. You imagine if you got rid of cereal? Let's get rid of soft drinks. Whoa. Ooh. We need to make America healthy again. Okay. Good luck with that. All right. All right, let's get into some announcements. We're going to wrap things up here on the Ralph's Opinion Show tonight. Don't forget, 9 o'clock, tune in to Steel City Sports World. I will not be on tonight. I have other obligations after the show here, so I will not be on tonight. So just to let you know, but still tune in. Luther Dupree, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Fillmore, and Big Rome. A lot to talk about tonight. So it'll be on YouTube and Facebook, Steel City Sports World show. It's on every Wednesday. So don't forget to do that as well. All right, coming up this week, don't forget Friday. Here we go, 3 to 4 p.m., 620 KHB, the Sports Corner radio show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther. Luther Dupree. Here we go. All right. And here you go. Here's the banner so that you don't forget 620 KHB in Pittsburgh, 3 to 4 p.m. every Friday, the Sports Corner Radio Show. And speaking of Sports Corner Radio Show, while we have the banners here, before it gets all messed up again, I don't know what's going on with the StreamYard stuff. I am looking into other software, so be advised, StreamYard. Clean up your act, or I'll be exposing you too. All right. 2 to 3 p.m. every Saturday on 1250 a.m. The Answer 92.5. Excuse me, on the FM dial. The Sports Corner Radio Show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. We got a lot to talk about as well on both Friday and Saturday. Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m., 1250 a.m. The Answer 92.5 on the FM dial, and theanswerpgh.com for you to tune in. Excuse me. It's all part of the Saturday of Ralph, and it starts off with 93.5 The Answer. All right. Or no, I'm sorry, 93.5 The Beach, not The Answer, The Beach. There it is, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., The Ralph Williams Show with me, Ralph Williams. My guest this week, I have a reporter coming on from the WBOC to talk about Ocean City, Maryland. My first guest on the Ralph Williams Show at 93.5 The Beach in the Delmarva region, 7 to 8 a.m. Don't forget to tune in as well. And the Ralph Williams Show again, but this time we are on 1250 The Answer up in Pittsburgh and 93.5. All right. And also don't forget, hang on one second here. Yeah, 8 to 9 a.m., the Ralph Williams Show on 1250 a.m., The Answer 92.5 on the FM dial, and theanswerpgh.com. And this Sunday, the debut of 2 hours of me, Ralph Williams, and Tony Moreno, the Ralph Williams Show with Tony Moreno. Yeah. Let us talk to you. We got a lot to talk about. Lots going on in the Pittsburgh area, Western Pennsylvania, and unlike the others in Pittsburgh, we tell the truth. All right? Truth will set you free. I'm just frustrated with some politicians that keep blowing me off and going on the other network. I'm getting a little frustrated. And I'm going to start exposing you next. So that's right. That's where it's at today. I have to do that. Okay? Because you think, if you still think I'm going to be a redheaded stepchild there, you're wrong. You're wrong. All right? It's not going to happen anymore. And I'm not going to let it happen anymore. All right? All right. And then at 10 a.m. to 11 on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network, the Saturday Sports Blast with me, Ralph Williams, Pensman Sports, and Brian Pettit and Leo Haggerty. Every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network. All right. That is our announcements. That is the show for tonight. And until next Wednesday, have yourself a good one. Please don't forget to tune into my radio shows all across the country, including in Philly on Wednesdays, 3 to 4 p.m. on 860 a.m. WWDB. And also don't forget down here in the Delmarva region on Saturday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and up in Pittsburgh on Friday. And also on Monday, 2 to 3 p.m., the Ralph Williams Show on 620 a.m. KHB in Pittsburgh. Until next time, have yourself a great one. And please, by all means, please be safe. Thank you. Thank you for watching.